I bought my house exactly 2 years in the UK as a nurse. I'm single just by myself, and I paid £50,000 as deposit for this house, and this was 2 years ago. And ever since I broke this news, I have never stopped getting messages on people asking me step by step on how to buy a house or how to save up money to buy your first house in the UK as just someone that bought it by themselves. Guys, this is 2 years later. I'm already due for my remortgaging, and this message is still coming up, and I say, no, I own you all this information and guide. Anyways, if you've not met me before, my name is Nurse Chinon. So I am a UK registered nurse, United States registered nurse, Nigeria registered nurse, and a registered midwife in Nigeria as well. I moved here into the UK in 2021 in October, and I bought my house around 2024, exactly almost 2 years I have bought the house then. Guys, I don't want to bore you with all those news. Let's go to the business of today. When I was 1 year in the UK, I have gone to buy a house, and I've already made up my mind because I live alone. I don't need to sort anybody's decision, because this can be a problem when you want to buy a house, especially if you have a partner. You people need to come to a conclusion. But in my own case, it is just me, so it's easy for me to take that decision to buy a house because I wanted to have a property in the UK. Now, the first thing that happened when I went for that first year was that my mortgage advisor checked, and she said, see, I'm going to do a soft check for you. It won't affect your credit rating, but just to see if any lender is willing to give you a loan when you are just 1 year in the UK. Long story short, she checked through so many lenders. None of them are willing to give me a loan, a mortgage as at that point. They wanted me to have at least 2 years off my visa. So from 1 year in the UK, I have had the services of a mortgage advisor, which I speak to her. I get all information. I will tell you, before I bought my house, I have all the information I need. I had 1 year of interaction, face-to-face meeting with a mortgage advisor before I now finally bought the house when my 2 year was completed in the UK. So guys, what was the first step? The first step was that I needed 2 years out of my visa. And I don't know of both, some people might say it's a year now, but as at 2023, when I was actively buying my house, it was, you need at least 2 years of your visa for you to get the house. The second thing is that you need a good credit rating. They say, oh, you need a credit score of 900 or 700. Guys, that is not what it means. It just means don't have a bad credit history, like not paying your credit, like your direct debit canceling. It's not about the number. I have a very low credit score. My credit score was about, I think, 500 or 400 then. That was what it was, because I didn't believe in credit then. So it's more or less, don't have a bad credit, but people misinterpret it like having a very high credit score. That is not what it means. Now, I wrote this down, so you'll be seeing me look down. So when that's, I don't have a bad credit score, I've made up my mind. The next thing is that what you have to get a mortgage, you need your international passport. One. What is the second requirement? You need at least 6 months. I was requested 6 month pay slip. 3, you need a proof of that your deposit. You need a proof. You need to show them that money is somewhere, like giving them your bank statement for about 3 to 6 months, depending on who is lending you. My lender is Barclays, and they requested for about 6 months of my pay slip and 6 months of my credit of my bank statement. The next thing you need to know when you want to buy a house is that you need a mortgage in principle. For some people, they do the mortgage in principle themselves. You can, like I bank with Barclays Bank, there is a way you can actually do mortgage in principle yourself. Mortgage in principle is about checking how much you make in a month, what your expenses is, and it will now lead you to the final destination of how much a bank is willing to borrow you. Now, in my own case, when my incoming, which is my salary, and my outgoing, the bank was willing to lend me as much as, I think, £200,000. Yes, the bank was willing to give me 200,000 pounds, but I didn't take all that money from the bank because I wanted at least to be in a place where I don't need to run the catchways. So I didn't take that 200,000 from the bank. That is what I will advise anybody. If the maximum a bank is going to borrow you is 100,000, please, my sincere advice is don't take all that money. Take a little, maybe take 180,000, take 170,000 and put up your deposit. So that will be my advice. So you have to know, if you can't do the mortgage in principle, it now leads us to the next step. Everybody, any immigrant that wants a house, you need a mortgage advisor. And not just any mortgage advisor. I tell everybody the best thing that happened to me today having a house in the UK is my mortgage advisor, Agnes. Shout out to her. I have referred people and nobody have said anything bad about her. She's not paying me for referral. Why do I refer people? They are mortgage advisors and they are mortgage advisors. Especially mortgage advisor that knows our circumstance as immigrants and knows how to navigate it. Not all the mortgage advisors know this. She knows her onion and she knows what it means to be an immigrant on a health and care visa. So I did my mortgage in principle and she did it as well. And we arrived at that the same amount that the bank was willing to lend me, 200,000 pounds to get a house. Mind you, I had a deposit of 50,000 pounds. And the 50,000 is because I wanted my monthly repayment not to go above what I was paying for rent, or at least a little bit. I don't want to be among the people that have to overwork because they have a mortgage. Remember, I stay alone. I don't have any income. All the money I spend in a month, I have to work for it. I don't have nobody assisting me. So I had to work that first 2 years to make 50,000 to make sure that my monthly payment would be very low. That is my wisdom and I did not regret it today, but we are not going there today. So when you get your mortgage in principle, what is the next thing to do? After your mortgage in principle is there, you've spoken to your mortgage advisors. Mortgage advisor is very cheap. I use the mortgage house. I think they charge me for the whole process. They won't debit you. They won't take your money until the day you get your key. It's about 200 to 250 pounds. That is what they charge for their services, because at least they get some amount from the agents and they're also going to get some amount from the bank. So I think that is how it works. But you yourself, you're paying them about 200 to 250 pounds. It's not static. Depend on the mortgage advisor that you have. The next thing you need to do, you need to have to start house hunting. The mortgage advisor is not the one to hunt for house for you. You have to start looking for house you want. And my darlings, I'm going to hold your hands and tell you, don't ever see one house and believe that is all you want. For me, I always tell people, sit down, write down what you want in a house. I've always said I need a house that the sitting room is large, a house with a sunroom, and I need a house that my bedroom is en suite. I need a house that have a very good parking space at the front and a house that have a very good garden. I have always said that. So anything short of this, if I go to view it, because when you go to view it, the agent's job is to sell that house to you. So they will do everything to want to make you to buy it. So if you don't have a plan of the house you want, you might end up buying what you will regret. Do I regret buying this house? No, because it's everything I wanted. I've already written it out. So when you start seeing houses, you go for your search, you're going to be tired. I viewed more than, not exaggerating, more than 30 properties in the market before I arrived at buying this particular house. Now, guys, when you get that house, it's in your place to now make an offer for the house. And this is the place some of us get it wrong. A house might be in the market for 200,000. Some of you will go and say 210,000, 220. No, you have every right. This is one thing I learned from Agnes, my mortgage advisor. You have every right to beat down the price of the house. This house, she asked me to beat it down by 20,000 pounds. I was scared initially. I'm like, what is she doing? People, this house, Like, it sounded weird to me. She said, no, go ahead, tell them. If they refuse, you're going to top up something. Guys, at the end of the day, do you know the price of this house in the market? I got 10,000 pounds out of it because I beat it down by 20,000. They refused. I beat it down by 15. They refused. And we agreed at taking off 10,000. So this is the part that most of us don't know, that you can actually beat the price of your house down, not always upward. When you have made the offer to buy that house, guys, trust me, house hunting can be stressful. It can be stressful. When you've made the offer and your offer is now accepted by the agent, now you have to go back to your mortgage advisor. Your mortgage advisor now will now start looking for lenders that will now lend you the money, because nobody is lending you the money before you get the house, because you need to make an offer and okay, they accepted to sell this house for 150 pounds and maybe you have 25,000. So you now look for a lender that is lending you 125,000 pounds. So you cannot get a mortgage without having an offer for the house. Now, that doesn't stop there. You need now a solicitor. A solicitor is the one that is going to do all the background check for the house, even the transfer of funds between the bank to the agent, your own deposit. It all goes through the solicitor. For myself, my deposit was transferred to the solicitor. The bank also transferred the mortgage money to the solicitor. The solicitor then transferred it to the agent. So none of us paid money to the agent. So you need the service of the solicitor, not just for the transfer of funds, but because they have to do a background check, so that tomorrow nobody come to say, oh, this house was not for sale, it was 10 people that owns this house. They are going to do all those checks. You might ask me, what is the cost of getting a solicitor? It goes between 10,000, 1,000 to 2,000 pounds, depending on your region and whichever solicitor that you are using. You have to meet with your solicitor to sign some paperwork and all. And when all this, your solicitor is satisfied, and they are always in contact with the bank. My bank that loaned me my money is Barclays. So when all this thing is done now, and you now have a completion date, that completion date varies. Mine vary because my house, you see, the sunroom in my house was an addition by the other owner. So whenever they were checking the background of the house, they wanted a certificate for them erecting that sunroom. So this is the job of the solicitor. And so when they bring the certificate, before the certificate could arrive, it delayed my completion date. So put it in mind that your completion date is not static. And you see your deposit. I only send my deposit the day, like I sent my deposit completion date. They didn't take my money before then. It was on the completion date I sent my money. They confirmed it and I went up to the agent to take my key. Now, these are the step-by-step you need to take to get your mortgage in the UK as somebody that is on COS. It didn't end there. I skipped something. Your bank, well, before your bank will lend you that money, they will check your credits. They will check your outgoing to make sure that you can meet up with your monthly repayment. Your bank will come out, send people out for survey. It is called evaluation. They will come to evaluate that house to make sure that it is, like, if push come to shove, that house can give them back their money if they want to sell it. So bank come to evaluate it. And this is where some people miss it. When bank come to evaluate your house, you think that your bank is a surveyor. They will come and check your ceiling, your heating, your floor. No, there is also an external surveyor. I paid 600,000, I paid 600 pounds for an external surveyor to survey this house. What is their work? They will check if there's any leakage, if there's damp in the house. They will check the roofing. They will check your heating and everything. We've seen people that bought house and the next week, the boiler was spoiled and they spent almost 4,000 pounds trying to fix the boiler. Or people that come and there's damp in the house. Most people don't do this part. Trust me. Most people that have bought house after me never use an external surveyor, but I use an external surveyor, and it's your choice if you want to an external surveyor to come and survey that house. It is good to do it before you pay, because if there's any fault, the owner of that house will fix it before you pay. If it makes sense to you, the owner have to fix it, not you now fixing it when you've already bought the house. To end all this, it doesn't really end with you having deposit for your house. Like when I have 50,000 pounds to deposit in this house, trust me, that was not the only money I had. I set aside 10,000 pounds as well, because this house, I furnished it. It's a 3-bedroom house. It have a sitting room. It have a sunroom, 2 toilet and bedroom. And I had to furnish this house. So I set out 10,000 pounds for furnishing, the solicitor fee, the mortgage advisor fee, and the moving fee. I hope this makes sense. But if there's anything I'm missing a bit, I'm going to make a follow-up video. But I think these are the main things you need as an immigrant on COS that want to get a house in the UK. And guys, if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so, because I'll be dropping more updates about finances, housing, nursing in the UK. Just stick around. I tell you, you're going to get value from this channel.